Guys, welcome back. I want to emphasize something important. Your reaction determines their victory, not your silence. You are currently at a crossroads, and you must decide whether to remain a victim in their game or take control of your own destiny. Consider this every time you have pleaded with them. We're going to answer every question on your mind and explain why silence is the best solution. But first, please like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Now, let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're standing in a pouring rain, desperately trying to shield a flame with your bare hands. The more you protect it, the more it flickers. In relationships, a frantic, futile attempt to keep something alive that's already slipping away. And you know this, right? And don't tell me you've done this. Oh, my friend, do you even realize what you've done to your dignity, your self-respect, your power? No, you don't. So let me tell you, when you beg someone to stay with you, to choose you, what you're really saying is, you are more important than me. Your validation defines my worth, and let me be brutally honest. No one wants to choose someone who doesn't even choose themselves. No one values what is handed over so easily. So why would they? Why would they fight for someone who has already declared themselves unworthy? This is what happened to you, isn't it? You chased, you begged, you pleaded, and they pulled further away. Am I right when you react to their games? Whether it's ignoring you, ghosting you, or pulling away, you are handing them the keys to your emotions. They say jump, and you ask how high. They stop responding, and you start spiraling. Every time you send that one last text, post that cryptic status, or try to remind them of your value, you are showing them one thing: you value them more than yourself. And let me tell you, no one, and I mean no one, respects, chooses, or falls in love with a puppet. So what are your options now? Does this mean it's over? That there's no way back? Absolutely not. What if instead of giving them more of your energy, you decided to give it to someone far more deserving? Yourself. What if instead of reacting to their decision to reject or ignore you, you made a decision of your own? What if you decided enough? So imagine this. The next time they ignore you, you don't text, you don't call, you don't post anything remotely related to them. Instead, you decide to cut the sting of being their personal puppet. Instead, you decided to refuse dancing to their tunes, and you did something they never expected. You went completely silent. No explanations, no justifications, no breadcrumbs for them to follow. What happens next? Did they get confused? Did they simply move on? Or did they come crawling back? Now I know what you might be thinking, but I already begged them. I already tried everything to make them notice me. Sound familiar? You're not alone. We've all been there, stuck in that frustrating cycle of trying harder, giving more, only to feel like it's never enough. But think for a moment, what if right at this point, right when you feel like you've done everything, you decide enough? What if, instead of becoming their emotional puppet, dancing to the strings of their indifference, you choose silence? Picture this. Every move they made was designed to get a reaction from you. Maybe not intentionally, but that's how it works. Maybe they ignored your text to test your patience. Maybe they pulled away to see if you'd chase. Or maybe they're sending a message loud and clear. I'm not interested. Leave me alone. So who has the power here? Up until now, they've been winning. They've been calling the shots, dictating the dynamic, keeping you on edge. But the moment you go silent, the game changes. Suddenly they're the ones left in the dark, wondering where you went. So the answer to, did they come crawling back, is what do you do after this silence? And if you decide to sit in some dark room, waiting for them to notice you, hell no, you're using this silence to transform yourself. If anyone is telling you to go silent just to sit there and wait for them to come crawling back, they're feeding you lies, and yes, they will get confused, but they will not come crawling back, not in the way you think. When you go silent, they might notice. They might start to miss you. They might get a little confused, but only for a moment. Then they will move on with their lives. That's the harsh truth. No one tells you. And here's the thing. If your silence is driven by the hope that they'll return, you're still handing them power over you. That's not stoicism. That's desperation in disguise. So here is the real thing. Silence isn't about them. It's about you. It's about reclaiming the energy you've been pouring into someone who hasn't earned it. It's about focusing on your own growth, your own peace, and your own happiness. As you do this, you'll realize something profound. The person who was ignoring you isn't as important as you once thought. Their approval isn't the prize you are. So don't get this twisted. This silence isn't about sitting in the shadows waiting for them to see your worth. It's about you realizing that their validation was never the source of your worth in the first place. Let me ask you this. Do you want to spend your life chasing someone who runs away? Do you want to waste your energy proving your value to someone who doesn't see it? Or do you want to stand tall, hold your head high, and let your silence speak louder than any words ever could? As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Their behavior is out of your control, but your response isn't. And when your response is silence, you're showing them, and more importantly yourself, that you are stronger than their games. Here's your challenge. The next time they ignore for you, the next time they pull away, resist the urge to react. Don't text them. Don't call them. Don't post a thing on social media. Instead, focus on yourself. Use that energy to build yourself up to thrive. Let your silence be a reflection of your confidence, your dignity, your power. And this will be the moment when they finally notice, when they come back, curious, regretful, maybe even desperate to understand why you stopped chasing. That's when you'll understand the true power of silence. It's not just about confusing them. It's about freeing yourself. It's about stepping out of the shadow of their indifference and into the light of your own worth. So what will you choose? Reacting to their behavior or reclaiming your power? Let me know in the comments. Just drop silence if these words resonate with you. The choice is yours, and it starts with self-respect. It starts with choosing yourself. It starts with silence. You are not going to beg. You are going to stand tall when they see you standing in confidence. When they were expecting you to beg, to break, to sit in that dark room crying, they will finally get it. It was never you who needed the soul. Are you ready to dive into this deeply? This was just the trailer. Your rise has so much more ahead. Number 1, don't block them. Blind them with your shine. Imagine a stage where the spotlight is on them, and you're sitting in the dark, clapping for their performance, hoping they'll notice you. But let me ask you, why are you sitting there? Why are you applauding someone who walked out on your show? You're not the audience in this story. You're the star. Yet here you are, dimming your light for someone who wouldn't even buy a ticket to your life. That ends now. As Epicus said, how long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? This isn't about waiting for them to recognize your value. It's about realizing that their validation was never the source of your worth. It's measured by the life you build for yourself, while they're busy curating moments to keep you looking back. Every time you see their post and feel that sting, stop and ask yourself, why am I giving this power over me? You're not supposed to break into pieces just because they're trying to project perfection. Your reality isn't their game. Avoid making it genuine. Your labor and transformation are about to begin. They pose to look joyful, but you'll experience it. You ask how you get this sheen. You make it, not chase it. Someone doesn't give you shine when they determine you're worth it. You fuel yourself to become the best version of yourself that no one can touch. Stop scrolling, reacting, and start growing to work. Change your definition of thriving. You feel your shine even when no one is looking. Use the energy you wasted on them to glow inside. They left. Good. Revise the stage and script to create your masterpiece. Think on your goals, peace, and joy. When you stop thinking about their timeline, you'll realize you're alone. And guess what? Real magic happens on your timeline. Shutting them, that's a temporary fix. Instead, blind them. Your growth, power, and stillness will blind them. Be the person they never imagined. Silence is certainty, not just the lack of speech. Keep your life so brilliant and uncontainable that their memory fades like a sun shadow. When you shine, you won't need to brag. No need to post, flaunt, or hope they notice. Just be. Authenticity, not desperation, will make you glow. They won't just lose you, they'll never get you back, no matter how hard they try. The best revenge is becoming everything they believed you couldn't be. Instead of blocking, you shine so brightly that it responds, I don't even remember you. Write, I shine on my terms in the comments to make it your slogan. Say it, live it, and remember, your light empowers you. Make it blinding. So how do you shine? That's the true question, right? A tremendous brilliance that changes your life and proves your strength. Shining is more than just bouncing back, so we'll explore this in the next several steps. Imagine climbing so high that your shadow is higher. Stay with me if you want to reinvent the life they left vacant, rewrite your story, and put the emphasis back on you. Further steps will show you how to transform your quiet into your biggest win. Now is the moment to press that tiny like button. Promote this video to more people who need to hear it. Your sponsorship helps us share our message far and wide. Stay, here begins your change. Second, redesign the vacant room. This is the most important phase in your journey. Remodel the empty room. Someone leaving your life doesn't just depart, they rip your universe apart. Imagine standing in a room with all the furniture removed, leaving only echoes and nothingness. That nothingness suffocates, right? Please tell me why you're staring at that vacant room. You create your life, not their leftovers. That space is a canvas with a future, not a tomb. Marcus Aurelius stated, the impediment to action advances action. Obstacles become paths. After they leave, your narrative begins to shine. You can rebuild, recreate, and create something so remarkable that the gap they left behind becomes your greatest chapter. It won't happen while you cling to their scraps. It happens when you take charge, pick up the pieces, and redesign. Imagine entering a room with damaged furniture, glass, and curtains. You wouldn't forever lament the mess, right? No, you would eventually roll up your sleeves, clean up, and start over. No difference in life. They left a task, a blank slate, not your identity. However, only you can choose what goes in that chamber. Will you leave it empty, plagued by their memories, or fill it with your most beautiful, bright self? You may be wondering, how do I redesign when I feel so broken? Truth, brokenness is where magic begins. Rumi stated, the wound is the place where the light enters you. The gaps they left in your life are opportunities for growth, reinvention, and light. Imagine the possibilities instead of gazing at the nothingness they created. Step 1 is decluttering. This goes beyond removing old photos and packing up. They must face their wrath, anguish, and resentment. Broken pieces litter your mind. If you don't remove them, they'll impede your progress. Note it, yell it, cry if you need to, but don't let it gather dust in your heart. Seneca stated, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Let rid of what no longer benefits you. After clearing the room, rebuild. However, you are not rebuilding for them. They'll admire your work as you're not redesigning. You do it for yourself, your life, sanctuary, and space. Exactly what goes in? Start with passions. What excites you? What did you always desire but never had time for? You may construct a homey existence full of purpose, joy, and soul-satisfying things in that empty room. Consider this. If you've ever redecorated, you know the delight of choosing colors, textures, and objects that express your personality. Life is the same for you. Fill it with things that make you feel alive, like learning a new skill, following a forgotten goal, or taking time for oneself. These ornaments of your new life will fill your room with force, not their presence. You may say, "But I'm lost. I don't know where to start." Use what you have. Lao Tzu remarked, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." That step could be reading, attending a class, or going on a walk. Starting is key. Stagnation is overcome by little actions. Your tiny steps toward filling the place with purpose show that you refuse to allow their absence to define you. A secret: redesigning your life has amazing results. Start enjoying what you're receiving instead of what you lost. A room left empty, it becomes your palace, filled with everything they couldn't see in you. You quit seeking their approval and live for yourself. Warning: this is difficult. It takes labor to redesign. It requires guts to face emptiness, clear the past, and start over. Every step you take is a step toward liberation, freedom from their absence, freedom from their approval, freedom to live a fully, unabashedly your life. Where do you begin? Start small. Examine your life and ask, what needs to go? Maybe a harmful habit, limiting mindset, or routine has held you stuck. Clear it, then ask, what can I add? It could be a new pastime, fitness goal, or more time doing what makes you happy. Fill your life with things that excite you, not those that remind you of the darkness they left behind. Most importantly, don't rush. Redesigning takes time. A beautiful life takes patience, care, and detail, just like a beautiful space. Trust the method. Every minor adjustment advances your masterwork. I'll conclude. The vacant room isn't cursed, a present. You can start afresh, develop better, and ascend higher than you imagined imaginable. Work hard and construct the life you deserve. Third, rework the conclusion. Imagine holding a book with chapters written by others. They've planned your story, role, and storyline. Since this is your book, why are you handing over the pen? Why read their interpretation of your life like it's the only option? They should scrap their pages and start over with the ending. Marcus Aurelius stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Your life may not have been your choice. The tale they tried to tell you was that they neglected, rejected, or left you. Your power to adapt, ascend, and shape what happens next is yours. Nobody writes the finale, but you. Now be honest. You may feel trapped in a cycle of heartache, rejection, and neglect. Maybe you've accepted that their departure is the end of your story. No, this isn't the end. Just pick up the pen and start making something new. Their rejection is a comma before the true change. But how do I rewrite the ending when the pain feels so overwhelming? Change your perspective. Stop seeing yourself as their victim and start seeing yourself as your hero. Every great hero has experienced betrayal, sorrow, and misery, but their narrative doesn't end there. They power their greatest rise. Seneca remarked, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Pain is power, not jail. Use it. Like film editing, heartbreak feels like a repeating disaster scene. However, as director, you can cut that sequence, modify the soundtrack, and rework the dialogue. Turn disaster into a story of development, resilience, and success. The goal is to reframe what happened, not erase it. How you recovered defines you, not what they did. Start by accepting reality. Fine, they departed, neglected you, and didn't value you. Don't linger." Epictetus stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your reaction matters, not chasing them, explaining yourself, or lamenting what could have been. You create a life so spectacular that their absence is inconsequential. Imagine your new conclusion. How do you look your best? How does that person think, live, and thrive? This is about showing to yourself that you're more than they're leaving, not them. Write down your vision, make it real, then live as if it's true. Every small step toward that vision is a line in your revised chapter, a stroke in your masterpiece. If uncertainties arise, realize that their rejection was about them, not you. Their unwillingness to value you doesn't make you less valuable." Viktor Frankl remarked, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. You can affect what happens after they go. Write the tale you deserve with the pen back. Rewriting your ending makes you ignore them. They become an epilogue, a lesson learned, not your protagonist. Your energy goes toward your fantasy life instead of them. After realizing what they lost, it won't matter. By then, you'll be too far ahead for their opinion. Just remember, your narrative isn't over unless you decide. Nobody else can create your book's finale, so write it yourself and make it so strong that you'll thank them for leaving. Their departure sparked your greatest rise. Comment, 'I write my own story.' Believe and live it. The pen is yours. Finish the story with a memorable ending." Fourth, don't look back. We all make that mistake. No, not just looking back. It goes deeper. It's keeping on to that pitiful hope that if you asked again, things may change. One excellent message would wake them up and show your worth. To be absolutely honest, what has begging ever done for you? Had it ever brought them closer? Not only has it dragged you down, stripped you of your dignity, and left you hollow, clinging to pieces they didn't care to offer, you're still hoping begging would work. No way this time. Every time you look back, you bind yourself to the past. Every time you consider chasing them again, you beg the cosmos, "I haven't learned my lesson yet. Please, hurt me again." Guess what? It will. Because looking back gives them free rent in your mind, letting them control your emotions, self-worth, and future. Is that your goal? According to Seneca, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. But are you letting the end be the end? You keep repeating the same script in your thoughts, hoping for a different result. You can't change the ending by staring at it. The only way forward is to quit looking back. I'm not just banning or avoiding their social media. Let go of the assumption that they were the key to your happiness. They weren't. They never were. Why is looking back dangerous? Because it's about you, not them. Every time you look back, you keep the self that needs their approval. The one who begged, cried, and stayed up all night wondering what went wrong. Why are you clinging to a past self like a lifeline? The dead weight of your old self prevents you from rising, cutting the rope. that tiny voice in your head that murmurs, maybe if I try one more time they'll change, is not your friend. It's your uncertainty, fear of letting go, and vulnerability. Trust me, truly valuable people don't need another chance to see your worth. There's no need to beg, chase, or battle for their attention. Even thinking it indicates how much self-improvement you need. Marcus Aurelius remarked, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." Ponder that. Would you want to spend your final day looking back at someone who treated you like an option? You were ignored, rejected, and made feel small. Would you finally let go, stand up, and live your best life? Thinking on the past locks you up. Good news, you have the key. Quit looking over your shoulder and quit thinking about going back to set yourself free. You allow yourself to grow and become your true self. I promise that individual isn't shadowed by someone who didn't value them. Are you done looking back? Are you ready to live in your power instead of dreaming of another chance? Comment, "For once and for all, I never look back." Say, "Own, live it." Only by quitting their game can you win. Your future awaits. Walk toward it instead of looking back. Number 5, highlight. Instead of dwelling on what could have been, what you could have done, or how you could have kept them, focus on today. Your spotlight has illuminated their acts, happiness, decisions, and indifference. Why are they your story's protagonist? Why give the spotlight to someone who neglected you? This is your spotlight, not theirs. Return it to its place. Imagine a stage. You've been waiting in the wings while they enjoy your attention for too long. You're following their life while you fade into the background. Unfortunately, the spotlight isn't repaired. Control its shine. You shouldn't waste it on someone who left your stage. Turn inward. Turn it on. Epictetus advised, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. Stop thinking about them and start thinking about yourself. Use the same light you've illuminated their lives to see yourself. Recognize your strengths, potential, and ability to survive without them. They never illuminated your life. You did. You forget how bright you can shine without dimming yourself for others. Consider this. When you give yourself the attention you deserve, you cease wanting their approval. After noticing yourself, you stop waiting for others to recognize you. The flaws, wounds, and qualities that define you are visible. You understand you don't need anyone else. You're complete. Unpopular truth. You made them important by focusing on them. However, they disappear when you shine the spotlight on yourself. You're now the center of your world, not them. Nietzsche observed, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Your why is living a purposeful life that makes their absence meaningless. Turning the spotlight is about rewriting the story and recovering your control. You're no longer a supporting character. Be your own star. When you perform with confidence, grace, and unapologetic brilliance, the world will notice. You radiate attention, not seek it. So stop looking back. Stop focusing on the past, the departing, or the possibilities. Instead, shine so brilliantly you can only see the route ahead. Comment, "I am my own light forever." Declare, believe, live. You have the spotlight. Enter it. Number 6. Be their unforgettable ghost. Let's get to the point where they notice. You'll become the ghost they'll never forget. When your quiet and brightness are undeniable, this isn't about slandering them or playing games. No, this is about leaving such an indelible impact on them that they feel your absence daily. You disappear without chasing or explaining, leaving them confused. Picture a candle extinguished in darkness. The flame is gone, yet its warmth and light remain in your mind. You become that. They may not have cherished your presence, but your absence will speak louder than your words or actions. Your silence and life rebuilding leave a vacuum they cannot ignore. They'll scroll through their phone for a message, but find none. You'll appear on social media as a stronger, untouchable, and prospering version of yourself, not drama or desperation. Seneca remarked, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Stop attempting to prove your worth. Now, every moment of silence shows your might. Every second spent on yourself reminds them of what they lost. It won't be because you sought to make them notice. It'll be because you quit. When people notice, your quiet and transformation will haunt them. The person they left is gone. You're entire, confident, and radiant. The person they thought you couldn't be. They'll learn too late that they should have held on tighter when they disregarded you. That's the power of becoming their unforgettable ghost. You don't follow their thoughts. Simply focusing on yourself has solidified your existence in their mind. Remember, this isn't revenge. This isn't about hope they miss you or regret you. Instead, use the energy you once invested in them to create a life so full and remarkable that their regret becomes meaningless. Growth is your victory, not their recognition of your worth. How do you become the ghost they'll never forget? It's what you do for yourself, not them. You flourish, expand, and shine, leaving an unforgettable mark. Comment: "Finally, I flourish in silence." Keep in mind that your power originates from within, and your legacy will be shaped by the strength they didn't recognize while they could. 7. Let them pursue shadows. Let them chase shadows. The ultimate ending. You've become untouchable, no longer looking back, begging, or explaining. The person they knew is gone. You rose stronger, brighter, and wilder. As you embrace your power, they'll chase something they can never catch. Your shadow. The version of you that was always there, always available, always giving, will be missed when others notice your absence. That version is gone. You're loving yourself like you loved them. Your energy squandered chasing them now fuels your radiance. No matter how hard they try, they'll only find a shadow, a recollection of you, not your current self. Epictetus stated, "If someone is able to provoke you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. You're free. You no longer respond to or await their attention. Their attempts to lure you back will feel like catching smoke, intangible, unattainable, gone. Ironically, while they chase, they'll learn they lost something valuable. You won't care by then. You've moved on, leaving them spinning in circles, plagued by what they can't have. Let their regret teach them, not you. You've outgrown them, and they're seeking what they didn't value before. This isn't revenge or manipulation, about emancipation. Let them ruminate on what they lost while you pursue your future. Your silence is revolutionary, not a reaction. Your growth is for you, not them. Chase all you want. You're gone. Comment: "Finally, I leave shadows." Make it your mantra, affirmation, or truth. You're no longer catchable. You've transcended, leaving them pursuing ghosts of a past they'll never touch. There it is, from silence to strength, from being overlooked to becoming memorable. This is about becoming your most powerful self, not just letting things go. You've learned to fill the void they left, rewrite the conclusion they tried to control, and put the attention on you. Not looking back, not explaining. Your time is now. You're thriving and leaving traces. Now you decide. Will you keep chasing what's lost or take charge? Remember that stillness, brilliance, and transformation speak loudly. The point is to realize you never needed them to appreciate your worth, because you already do. If this video moved you, act, like, share, and subscribe to the channel to never miss out on stuff that motivates you. Right. I select my power once and for all in the comments below. Share your decision to proceed. This is your chance. Own it. Your climb begins now.